Great. So students, this session of today's will be all about data analysis. What do we understand by data analysis and what do we infer from it? See, whenever we are observing a cricket match, you might have seen that there are different types of graphs shown in between, which shows the run rate, the number of wickets lost, and the different information in an easy and interactive manner. So today's topic is only about how to attain information through the graphs. That is basically, in today's session I have dealt with the two types of the graphs, the bar graph and the line graph. So we will be dealing about it in this session. So as a part of sports festival, 10 over cricket match was played between class 6th and class 7th. Class 7th won the toss and decided to bat their innings. And their innings summary is shown in the following diagram. So as you can see, it's a graph, basically a bar graph shown. And in this bar graph, you can see it's a bar graph between two classes, class 6th and class 7th. So see, in the graph, there are two information given towards the right, that is the series and the wicket. The wicket is shown by the dot and the series is shown by the graph line. The different runs scored by the children are given towards this left side, our y-axis, and overs are mentioned towards the horizontal axis, that is our x-axis. So we will be dealing different questions regarding it. You can see it is clearly depicted in this graph that one wicket has been lost in the over 1. This circle shows the wicket as it is mentioned. So 2 wickets have been lost in the over 5 and 2 wickets have been lost in the over 9. So we will be dealing how many runs were scored. Okay, in over 6 we can see how many runs are scored in the over 6. If I'll ask you from the graph, I want to see how can you infer the details. So how many runs are scored in over 6? Hurry up. Waiting for the answers in the comment section. This is just a simple graph. As we'll move from question to question, the level would be raised and different types of question would be asked. So yes, okay, 9, great. So as you can see, it's on the 9. So how many runs have been scored in the over 6? That is 9. Moving ahead, now if I'll ask you, in which over were maximum runs scored? So looking at the graph, you can see in which over are the maximum runs scored. Where is the graph taking the maximum leap? सबसे ज़्यादा कहाँ पर हो रहा है? Yes, it is which over which is showing the maximum run. We can see that the maximum is in case of over 6. So over 6 would be the answer, that maximum runs were scored in over 6. Great. So this is just a simple question. Moving ahead to the next question. How many runs were scored in this over? Which over they are talking about? Yes, which we have asked, over 6. So tell me how many runs were scored in over 6? You need to be specific. How many runs? Yes, it's also the simple as it is shown that how many runs? 9 runs are scored in over 6. Next, what was the final score of class 7th? So now this is an interesting question. Obviously, if it is showing, we have read it in the question, there is nowhere mention of class 6th because batting was done first by class 7th, and here we are having the graph of class 7th. So you need to tell what was the final score of class 7th. Total कितना score था class 7th का. So you need to calculate each and every overs run and then you need to add and let us know. So over 1 there were 6 runs, over 2 we have 7. Over 3, we have 4. Over 4, we have 6. Over 5, we have 2. Over 6, we have 9. Over 7, we have 7. Over 8, we have 4. And in over 9, we have 0. See, there are no runs in over 9. And in over 10, we have 6. So adding up all, you need to tell me how many runs. What was the final score means how many runs. Basically, score means not the marks over here. It means the runs. So 52. When we will add, we will get 52 runs were scored by the class 7th. Moving ahead to the next one. Now see, I'll check it out who all are the cricket lovers and who all know this answer. Sahil. There's a boy named Sahil who bowled over 1, 3 and 9. अब उसने सारे ओवर्स नहीं करे हैं. कितने ओवर्स करे हैं? कुछ ही ओवर करे हैं. और जो उसने बॉलिंग करी है वो रन ओवर्स हैं 1, 3 और 9. आपको बताना है इनमें से कि उसने सबसे पहले कितने ओवर करे. ओके, फिर कितने मेडन्स करे. अब हु नोज द मीनिंग ऑफ मेडन? See students, maiden means an over in which no runs are scored. कोई runs score नहीं करते हैं तो उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? maiden. So yes, where no runs are scored. So we'll talk about overs 1, 2 and 3. So Sahil took the chance on 3 overs. What is his bowling analysis? We need to tell and we are telling it. What is his bowling analysis means maidens. Maidens means कितने ऐसे केस हैं जिस ओवर में कोई रन ही नहीं आया, तो वो एक ही केस है. आप देख सकते हैं ओवर 9 इज द केस इन विच देयर आर नो रन्स. तो मेडन्स किसे कहते हैं हम? जिस ओवर में कोई रन ना हो. तो कोई भी रन किस ओवर में नहीं है? ओवर 9th में नहीं है. तो ऐसे कितने ओवर हैं? एक ही ओवर है. So we need to write 1. Okay. Now you need to tell how many runs were given by Sahil. मतलब जब साहिल बॉलिंग कर रहा था तो कितने रन्स हो गए थे. सो साहिल ने ओवर 1 किया. ओवर 1 में कितने रन्स थे? 6. फिर साहिल ने ओवर 3 किया. ओवर 3 में कितने रन्स थे? 4. फिर साहिल ने ओवर 9 किया जिसमें कोई रन नहीं था. वी नो इट इज 0. सो हाउ मेनी रन्स वर मेड बाय साहिल? 10. And how many wickets were given by Sahil? So see, 1 is over here and 2 wickets in the over 9. So total how many wickets were given by Sahil? 3 wickets. So this was the summarization of the bowling done by Sahil. So this is the way you need to answer. Next, was Sahil the leading wicket taker? So you need to tell that क्या साहिल leading wicket taker था? So yes, we need to tell. See, total how many wickets were taken? You need to be particular. कितने wickets लिए गए थे? Total, if we talk about the graph, there were 5 wickets taken. 2 and 2 and 1. That means 5 wickets were taken. And out of 5, how many wickets were taken by Sahil? 1 and 2, 3. So 3 wickets were taken by Sahil. So yes, the Sahil was the leading wicket taker if we talk about it. Great. This was just the simple question, the basic one. Moving ahead, as you can see, there is the next question. A fashion house making designer shirts has 2 factories, X and Y, and the production in 2 factories for the month from April to September is shown in the bar chart below. अब आपको दे रखा है कि एक फैशन हाउस है, एक डिज़ाइनर इंडस्ट्री है, उसकी 2 फैक्ट्रीज हैं. एंड व्हाट आर द 2 फैक्ट्रीज? द 2 फैक्ट्रीज आर X and Y. And the production from April to September is given in this particular graph. You can see The light green shows the production in factory Y and the dark green shows the production in factory X. Now you need to be careful and answer the following questions. So if I'll talk about what is the production in factory Y, पहले हम ये डिसाइड करते हैं. देखिए, सिर्फ अगर हम Y की काउंट करेंगे, इट इज़ फ्रॉम 2000 to 3000. दैट मीन्स अप्रैल के मंथ में Y ने कितनी प्रोडक्शन करी है? Y ने सिर्फ 1000 प्रोडक्शन करी है if we are talking about April month. Now if we'll talk about May month, what is the production of Y in the month of May? Tell me. If I'll ask you, what is the production of Y in the month of May? Tell me. देखिए, Y की पहले कितनी थी? X ने 1000 करी है. 1000 से 4000 तक जितनी भी है वो हमारी Y की है, क्योंकि लाइट ग्रीन Y डिनोट कर रहा है. तो 1000 से 4000 तक 3000 हुई. So 3000 was the production of Y in the month of May. Similarly, in the month of June, you need to tell what is the production of Y. It is further 2000. Moving ahead, in the month of July, there is no production done by Y. In August, the production done is again 2000. And in the month of September, if we'll talk, the production done is only by Y and there is no production done by X, and that is 5000. So if we will add all the production, tell me what will be the total production done by the factory Y. So 1000 plus 3000, 4000, 4000 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8, and 8 and 5 means 13. So how many production? So if we'll talk about the factory Y, production was 13,000. Total production done by factory Y. Now if we'll talk about the factory X, see, you need to be clear about the factory X as well. So tell me, what is the production done by factory X? Yes. Hurry up, calculate and let me know what is the production done by factory X if we calculate all of it. And yes, great, perfect. I'm getting the correct answers. If we calculate all the production done by factory X, what it would be. Be careful and calculate. Great. The total production of factory X would be 12,000. So the total combined production of both the factories would be what? 25,000. We have calculated all these things and then we will be moving ahead to the various questions asked. So the production by factory Y 13 and the production by factory X is 12. Moving ahead, what percent of total production come from factory X? Now since you know how to calculate percentage, you need to tell me what is the percent of total production which is coming from factory X. See how percentage is calculated. First of all, in numerator, what we keep? The production which has been asked. So what is the production of X? We have calculated. It was coming 12,000 upon total production. Total production was what? 25,000. And for percentage, we multiply it by 100. So if we will cut 3 zeros by 3 and 25 by 4, it's 12 fours are 48%. So if I'll talk about what is the percent of total production coming from factory X, it is 48%. I hope I am clear with the statement. How we have calculated the percentage. Moving ahead to the next question. Now see the question and answer it. Both the factories were closed down for 1 month for annual maintenance. दोनों ही factories एक एक महीने के लिए, 1 मंथ के लिए क्लोज हुई हैं. और क्यों क्लोज हुई हैं? क्योंकि एनुअल मेंटेनेंस चाहिए थी. ईयरली वाइज 1 मंथ वो क्लोज होती है ताकि सारी मशीन्स रिपेयर हो पाएँ और जो भी नेसेसरी हमारे स्टेप्स रिक्वायर्ड है फैक्ट्री को लेकर वो हो पाएँ. तो both the factories were closed down for 1 month each for annual maintenance. Factory X were closed down for the month of. You need to tell me, looking at the bar graph, when was Factory X closed? देखिए और बताइए कि जो फैक्ट्री X है वो कब क्लोज हुई. Yes, perfect. Factory X was closed down in the month of September. How can we conclude it? Because there is no production done by Factory X. There is no dark green color over here. And if we'll talk about the production of Y, Factory Y underwent maintenance in the month of what? In the month of July, because there is no production done by the Factory Y in the month of July. So this is how we will be answering the question. Moving ahead to the next question. Now, you need to tell me the ratio of production of Factory X and Y is. आपको ये बताना है कि रेशियो कैसे कैलकुलेट होगा किसका, प्रोडक्शन ऑफ फैक्ट्री X and Y. See students, how do we calculate ratio? Yes, just by dividing both of them. So ratio of production of factory X. What was the production of factory X? We have already talked about. Production of factory X was 12,000 as we did. And production of factory Y. What is the production of factory Y? It is 13,000. So if we'll talk about their ratio means we need to divide both of them. So the ratio would turning out to be 12:13. Great. So I hope I am audible. Ratio of production of factory X and Y is. So we just put up, yes, we just divided them, that is 12,000 upon 13,000, and it turned out to be 12:13. Perfect. Moving ahead to the next question. It is about the production and exports and the amount in million expended on the factory. So if you are talking about the particular factory and it is mentioned about the amount in million spent and production. So you can observe it that the dark green basically shows us the production and the light green shows the export. प्रोडक्शन मीन्स कितना बन रहा है, और एक्सपोर्ट मीन्स जितना सेल हो रहा है आउट ऑफ द कंट्री, व्हेन इट इज सेंट आउट ऑफ द कंट्री फॉर selling any product. So it is termed as export. So now we will be dealing different questions regarding the product export and production. कितनी प्रोडक्शन हो रही है, कितना एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है, कब प्रोडक्शन बढ़ी, when it got decreased. So we will be having some questions again with the bar graph. So over the years production is what. अगर आप देख रहे हैं प्रोडक्शन किससे डिनोट हो रही है, डार्क ग्रीन से. 2006 में प्रोडक्शन कितनी थी, 8 मिलियन की. 2007 में प्रोडक्शन गॉट इंक्रीज्ड टू 10 and further in 2008 it got increased to 12 million. So what we are noticing, we are observing that the production over the year is what, it is increasing or decreasing. As you can observe, it is increasing. So if it is asking over the year, what can you notice? So over the year we can notice that the production is getting increased. Now if we will talk about over the year exports are, so now we will look up at the exports. The export in 2006 was for of 6 million, then it got decreased to 4 million, and then it further got decreased to 2 million. So over the year the export is getting decreased. Over year export क्या हो रही है, कम होता जा रहा है. But if we are talking about what, we are talking about production. The production is getting increased every year. So you need to be clear what the question is asking. Now we have to fill up the table, noticing what were the productions, what were the exports, what was the domestic consumption. See, you need to be clear. प्रोडक्शन मीन्स कितना बन रहा है, एक्सपोर्ट मतलब कितना सेल हो रहा है. अब जितना प्रोड्यूस हुआ, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं 2006 का केस लेती हूँ, 8 मिलियन प्रोड्यूस हुआ था, 6 मिलियन एक्सपोर्ट हुआ, तो डोमेस्टिक कंजम्पशन कितना था, कंट्री पर्टिकुलर कंट्री ने कितना यूज़ किया, 2 मिलियन. बिकॉज 8 मिलियन तो प्रोड्यूस हुआ था, 6 मिलियन ही बाहर गया, तो 2 मिलियन जो था वो डोमेस्टिक कंजम्पशन था, पर्टिकुलर कंट्री का अपने ऊपर यूज़ किया हुआ. So we just have to fill up the table. It's a simple table by looking up at the above graph. What was the production? First of all, we'll fill up the production. It will be easy for us. Tell me, what was the production in the year 2006? कितनी production थी 2006 में? Hurry up. You need to tell me what was the production in 2006. Great. As you can see, it's mentioned. It can be clearly depicted. Great. It was 8 million. Further, if I talk about 2007, what was the production in 2007? 2007 में कितनी प्रोडक्शन है? It is, yes, 10 million. And if I'll talk about the production in 2008, it further increased to what? 12 million. So total production was 30 million. If I'll add them all, I'll get 30 million. Now if I'll talk about the export, अगर हम बात करें एक्सपोर्ट की, एक्सपोर्ट मतलब कितना बाहर जा रहा है, तो इट्स क्लियरली शोन 2006 में एक्सपोर्ट कितने मिलियन था. द एक्सपोर्ट वाज what was the quantity of export? Yes, the export was 6 million. Then the export got reduced to next year 4 million, then 2 million, and so the total was what? The total was 12 million. If I'll talk about the domestic consumption, in the case of domestic consumption, it was 2. How I am getting the domestic consumption? See students, I'll be subtracting the total production विद द एक्सपोर्ट, जितना एक्सपोर्ट हुआ ठीक है, बाकी जो भी बच रहा है दैट इज द डोमेस्टिक कंजम्पशन विच द कंट्री पीपल आर यूजिंग. So basically if I am talking about the domestic consumption, how do we calculate the domestic consumption? By subtracting production with exports. So in the next case the domestic consumption was 6 million, further it was 10 million, and total if I'll talk about the domestic consumption of the particular item, it was 18 million. So we need to be clear that what all can we infer. ज़रूरी नहीं है जो दे रखा है ग्राफ से वो ही हमें आंसर देना है. जैसे डोमेस्टिक कंजम्पशन आपसे पूछा जा सकता है तो ऑब्वियस है, जितना प्रोड्यूस हुआ उसमें से हमने जितना एक्सपोर्ट किया उसे सब्ट्रैक्ट कर देंगे, हमें डोमेस्टिक कंजम्पशन मिलेगा. Moving ahead to the next one, the ratio of production to exports over the years 2006 to 2008. That is very simple. You need to tell me the ratio, and that too only of export or export in the year 2006 to 2008. अब आप बताइए 2006 में कितना एक्सपोर्ट हुआ है, आप देख सकते हैं. You already know the export was 6 million. And in 2008 the export was what? Only 2 million. So the question is asking that you need to calculate the ratio. आपको ratio बताना है इन दोनों का. So what will be the ratio? The ratio would be simple. The ratio would be 6 to 2. That is what? 3:1. The simple is the answer. The ratio was 3:1 if we are talking about the exports. Great. Okay. So up till now we have talked about what? We have talked about the various bar graph. Now we will be moving ahead with the line graph. Line graph क्या होते हैं? Line graph क्या बताते हैं? Line graph basically tells you about the particular information in the form of line, and they also helps us to analyze the data. So if we are simply talking about the following line graph, which you can shows the number of malls in the cities from 2002 to 2008. Simple question है, 2002 में सिटी में कितने मॉल थे, फिर 2008 में कितने हुए. तो आपको सिंपली उनके बारे में बताना है, क्लियर करना है, उससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस बताने. सो इट्स वेरी सिंपल. वी विल बी मूविंग अहेड विद द डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस. But as you can see, 2002 we have 2 malls, 2003 we have 3 malls, 2004 there were 5 malls, and same remained in 2005. तो कुछ तो malls 2004 और 2005 में 1 year के span में कोई malls नहीं बढ़े. They were constant. That is, if there were 5 malls, it remained. So for that you can see in 2006 we have how many malls? We have 7 malls. And if we talk about 2007 we have 4. So how many malls were closed down? And that's simple. 3 malls were closed down during this scenario, during this period. I hope, am I audible? Is there any issue regarding the voice problem, or am I audible, students? Okay, further discussing to the next one. In which year did the number of moles remain same as the previous year? So you just need to tell me that in which year was the number of moles remained the same. Neither it got increased nor it got decreased, but it remained the same. So you just need to tell me the year. Which year number of moles remained the same as in the case of previous? Perfect, great. 2004 में हमारे पास कितने मॉल्स थे? 5. 2005 में भी कितने? The number of malls remain the same. So in which year? We will be telling up the later. That is the 2005, the number of malls remain the same. And students, you need to remember, whenever there is a straight line, that means the particular thing which we are talking about remains the same. The parallel line to x-axis. This is our x-axis and the line which is parallel to it. It's straight. It means it is not changing. It remains constant. Next, what is the ratio of number of moles in 2008 to 2002? Now you need to calculate yourself and let me know the answer in the chat box. What is the ratio of number of moles in 2008? So you need to know what is the number of moles in 2008 and what number of moles we have in 2002. And after that you need to tell me the ratio. Hurry up. See, whenever we are telling the answer of the ratio, the very first quantity asked needs to be in the numerator. अब पहले 2008 की बात हुई है तो 2008 के 8 मॉल्स थे तो हम 8 न्यूमरेटर में लिखेंगे. And then if we talk about 2002, we have just 2 moles. And then 8 divided by 2 gives us 4/1. That is 4:1. You cannot say that the answer is 1:4. You need to be particular regarding it. The next one. It's a different graph, line graph. In this, city A is an industrial town. Be very particular. City A is an industrial town on the highway. The line graph below shows the population of city from 2003 to 2008. So, as you can see, it's a population based graph and it is showing how the population is changing from 2003 to 2008. It is full of increment and decrement. First it increased, then it decreased, and then it increased to a great extent, might be because of job availability, and then further it got decreased. So we will be discussing some questions in which we will be talking about different cases. The very first question is the difference in the population of the city in 2008 and 2003. So you need to calculate, observe the graph and think what is the population. It is in thousands as it is already mentioned towards the end of the graph that the population is in thousands. So since it is in thousands, calculate and let me know. So what is the population in 2008? It is over here. It is 60,000. And the population in 2003, it is what? 10,000. So what is the difference? It's simple that we need to subtract it. The difference in the population in the city in 2008 and 2003 is of 50,000. Moving ahead to the next question. In 2006, if 60% of the population were males, how many females were inhabited in that city? Now, you need to be particular. Whatever is the population in 2006, first of all, we need to observe what is the population in 2006. If we will observe, the population in 2006 is 40,000. And out of 40,000, how many were the males? There were 60% were the males. So, how much females, how many females do we have? So, we all know that the total percent is 100%. अगर 60% males हैं, that means how many females do we have? Hurry up, tell me. if 60% is the males, how many females do we have? ऑब्वियसली अगर 60% मेल्स हैं, टोटल 100% होता है, तो 40% इज ऑफ फीमेल्स. सो 40% of 40,000. Why I have taken 40,000? Because they are asking of the year 2006, and in 2006 our population was 40,000. So 40% of 14,000, when you will be solving it, you will be getting to know how many females were inhabited in the city. So solve it and be careful while solving what is the population of females. So when after solving, I hope you can do it easily. See, 40% means 40 upon 100, and if I am talking about 40,000, so what is it? The answer would be turning out to be 16,000. So how many females were there? The females which were there were 16,000. Moving ahead to the next one. In 2005, 10% of the population was less than 18 years of age. How many city residents were adults? So it is given that 10% of population was less than 18, and the people who are above than 18 are termed as adults. तो दे रखी है आपको क्वेश्चन में चिल्ड्रन की परसेंटेज, एंड यू नीड टू टेल अस द परसेंटेज ऑफ व्हाट, यू नीड टू टेल अस द परसेंटेज ऑफ एडल्ट. So similarly, just as we have done in the previous question, the total percentage is what? It is 100%. अब 10% children है. That means how much percent is the adult? 90% of the population is adult. And in 2005, what is the population? The population, as you can see, is what? It is 20,000. So we need to calculate what? We need to calculate 90% of 20,000, so that we can get the population of the adults living in the city in 2005. So hurry up, calculate and let me know the answer. Hurry up, hurry up. Tell me, how many city residents were adults in 2005? कितने adults थे वहाँ पर? Yes, perfect. There were 18,000. When we will be solving it, we will be getting out of 20,000, only 2,000 were children and 18,000 were the adults. Moving ahead to the next question. What is the ratio of population in 2004 to 2007? Now, firstly, as you can see it in the question, it has talked about 2004. So first we will be writing about the population of 2004, and then we will be dividing it with the population of 2007. So in 2004, the population is, you can see it from the graph. And hurry up, tell me the ratio in the chat box. What would be the ratio of the population in 2004 to the population in 2007? कितना रेशियो है, क्या है हमारा रेशियो? हरी अप. Yes, perfect. In 2004, as you can see, it is 30 whatever thousand it is, and 2004 7 we have 70. So if it is talked about the ratio would be what? It would be 3:7. That's it. Perfect. Moving ahead to the next and the last line graph which we will be talking today for the data analysis. It's that a company manufactures belts and caps, the production of those items for the period of January to June. अब एक कंपनी है जो बेल्ट्स भी प्रोड्यूस करती है और कैप्स भी प्रोड्यूस करती है. आपको ध्यान से ऑब्जर्व करना है, जो बेल्ट्स हैं वो पर्पल कलर से डिनोटेड हैं और जो हमारी कैप्स हैं वो ग्रीन कलर से डिनोटेड हैं. तो एंड द ड्यूरेशन they have talked is from January to June. So there are different questions which we will be discussing and you need to answer. be very careful since it is talking about two things in this particular graph, that is belts and caps. So the very first question is total item produced in January. आपको ये नहीं चेक करना है कि कितनी बेल्स हैं या कितनी कैप्स हैं, आपको बताना है दैट कंपनी और दैट फैक्ट्री हैज प्रोड्यूस्ड total number of items. Total number of items means what? That is combination of belts and caps. So as we can observe the graph, we can see the belts produced are 40, and similarly it is in what, thousands, and the caps produced were 70. So if we will add both of them, that is the belts and the caps, we will get the total number of items. So yes, the total number of items would be 1,10,000 because the number represented on the y-axis are in the thousands. So the total items is 1,10,000. Now the number of belts produced to caps produced. Belts कितनी produce हुई? 2 caps in the month of February. So basically 2 means we again have to tell the ratio. तो आप देखिए belts कितनी produce हुई हैं? The belts produces 30 and the caps produced is 50. So you just need to tell the ratio. That's simple. And what would be the answer turning out to be? The answer turning out to be was 3:5. So the number of belts produced to the caps produced in the February is 3:5. The next question, in which month? Now you need to observe the graph and tell in which month equal number of pairs of caps and belts were produced. So आपको बताना है किस मंथ में इक्वल बेल्ट्स और कैप्स प्रोड्यूस हुई है. ऑब्जर्व इट एंड टेल इन विच मंथ आर द इक्वल नंबर ऑफ बेल्ट्स एंड कैप्स प्रोड्यूस्ड. So yes, as you can see, just on the particular month where the two dots will collide each other, जब दोनों डॉट्स सेम पर होंगी उस पर्टिकुलर मंथ में सेम नंबर ऑफ कैप्स और बेल्ट्स प्रोड्यूस हुई है. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द मंथ ऑफ मे. दैट इज द मंथ ऑफ मे इन विच equal caps and belts are produced. It cannot be February because February you can see it's different. The next and the last question for today's session, in how many months more belts were produced than caps? Now you need to observe it carefully. The answer is all up to you. See different months, observe them and tell how many months are there in which more belts are produced than caps. Hurry up. That means the purple line must be at higher peak. जो purple line है वो ऊपर होनी चाहिए as compared to the green. Yes, hurry up. Perfect. In the month of March. So in how many months? It's just only in 1 month. I hope I am clear. Great. So this was the last question of today's session. Tomorrow we will be moving and meeting again with the next interesting topic for aptitude class. So thank you for watching the video and giving your time. And at last I would like to say self-belief and